And flights aren't the only safety concern during this storm. The Department of Transportation is working hard to keep the roads clear while warning people to stay off the streets. We're honored to have now Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. In the middle of all of this, Secretary, you decided to join us, get the word out. Tell us what you've got going on and how you're keeping Americans safe during all this.
Well, it's great to be with you guys on the Big Weekend Show. So our command center, fully functioning, operational, staffed, and tracking what's happening across all our modes of travel. I want to just double down on what Madison said. Over 11,000 cancellations today, 17,000 delays. This is the worst day of cancellation since COVID, March of 2020. And there's a number of reasons for that, Joey. We have, snow, ice, but also just like we tell people not to travel on our roadways, to be cautious, we have staffing issues, whether it's our controllers, our pilots, those who are working at the airport. So across the spectrum, we're having issues. And as we look at airports specifically, but also to our roads, as this storm hits, one of the issues is it's going to remain cold in the south and southwest until Tuesday or Wednesday. But in the Midwest and north, it's going to be to the end of the week before those temperatures start to rise. And so in the places where we have ice, it becomes more challenging to get fully functioning very quickly. But we are working overtime to make sure that happens as safely and quickly as possible.
Secretary Duffy, I mean, you've had quite the task ahead of you with that government shutdown and now this. Speaking of those flight cancellations, I think two of us at least are going to be trying to fly out of here tomorrow. So wish us the best of luck. We might have to call you up for some tips. But I will say this, there's a lot of passengers right now. We've all been through it. We're really concerned about one thing, and that's if your flight gets canceled and canceled and canceled, rebooked, you're trying to find another flight, and then the airlines jack up the fee to some crazy number that pretty much nobody can afford. Is there anything that you can do in your capacity to prevent price gouging or anything to give passengers some comfort that are really worried about getting home or getting where they need to be?
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have flights booked and you're ready to go. The problem is your flight going to fly tomorrow? There's going to be about 2,600 cancellations already for tomorrow. Again, we're hoping for improvement. But you see the airlines deal with this massive backlog. Over the last 3 days, we had massive disruption in the airspace. And so you have to work through that backlog and maintain the current flight structure for the coming days, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it gets to be very busy. And I mean, we don't price fix for the airlines, but I think you have to be responsive to consumers. As you mentioned, we know when our airlines are price gouging us. We know when they're taking advantage of us. And you look to the airlines that actually don't do that, and you give them your business, and because they treat you fairly and treat you well. So I think that's the bottom line. Pay attention to who's the best actor in crises like this.
Right.
Secretary Duffy, I'm wondering, when they cancel 11,000 flights, I'm always amazed that they can ever get back because there's so many connections to be made. And how long does it take? And I don't know if this is a dumb question. If you cancel 11,000 flights, do you have to add 11,000 more in the coming few days, or do they just kind of go back to business as usual and hope people can make their reservations and hope other people just cancel their plans?
So we anticipate getting back to normal on Wednesday, working through just the weather issues. But again, some people will just not fly. They'll take that credit to fly later, and then you start filling up planes. But we don't have the capacity with our current airlines to put 2.5 days of people on airplanes, bring in more aircraft. You just got to fill in the aircraft that we have. And so you'll see fuller flights as we look out to the next week. But I want to be really clear, you guys. I know there is frustration when a flight is canceled or it's delayed and you spend time at the airport. Our number one job is to make sure if you're going to fly safely. So we want to make sure that your runways are clear. We have enough controllers. We have enough de-icing equipment at the airport to de-ice your plane. So if you get on that airplane and you fly, we've done all that we can to make sure you stay safe. Nobody wants to get on an airplane, have it fly when we all don't feel secure that this flight is going to get to its destination safely. So that is always the backdrop for us. I'd rather have you late or delayed or canceled than see you fly in any kind of risky situation.
Mm-hmm.
Secretary Duffy, I drove up here to New York from Washington, D.C., and I need you to tell me how long I'm going to be stranded here. And for those of us who want to hit the roads in the next few days, what does the timeline look like to safely get back on the roads?
Yeah, well, so to your point, so New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut have shut down their roadways to commercial travel. But we have 17 states across the swath of this storm that have shut down lanes so they could plow and salt. And many of these states have reduced the speed limits on our roadways. And again, once we get through the storm and we get salt and dirt down on our roadways, I think you're going to see them come back to normal. But again, when you have cold temperatures, it makes it that much more challenging. And so I think we have to be patient. And again, I don't know what kind of driver you are, Kaylee, what kind of risk you want to take. But again, I would go to highways.dot.gov. That's a page where you can look at the different states and what the road conditions are in each state and make an assessment as to what progress each of the communities have made in clearing their roads. And then you can assess, where each individual state is and whether you want to travel or not. Because again, we see ice in the south, we see sleet, we see snow. All of those are different factors in driving conditions. Can I make one other
Sure.
point? We have, a massive number of Americans who have lost power in this storm.
Yeah.
You know, a half an inch of ice on a power line is 500 pounds of weight. And so you're seeing these power lines go down. And so we have line workers that are out there trying to get power back. You know, as we sit, many people hunker down. You guys aren't. You're bringing the news to us. But a lot of Americans are hunkering down. This is the Super Bowl for the men and women who get in those plow trucks and salt trucks and take care of our roads. They're going to work overtime. And to all of them, we here at DOT are grateful. They step up and everybody steps back to make sure that we're as safe as possible as we get on the road. And by the way, this goes without saying, everyone has said this, but if you don't have to travel, I mean, really stay home, stay put. You don't want to go out in roads like this.
Yeah.
Wait till they're cleared, there's salt and sand down, and we feel comfortable that we can safely navigate our roadways.
Yeah, a couple of things there. Number one, linemen really are the unsung heroes of our entire infrastructure.
Yep.
We give a lot of credit to a lot of people. We don't give enough credit to them. I appreciate you pointing that out. Lastly, you brought a common sense approach to your office, and I think now it's time for us to exercise that common sense on our side, too. So I appreciate that message. Secretary Duffy, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.